Millets are a group of grains grown in the semi-arid tropics of Africa and Asia. There are many different types, like finger millet, little millet, foxtail millet, and pearl millet. Millets have a place in Indian history and culture, as they have been cultivated for around 3,000 years. Millets are superior to other major cereals in nutrition. They contain more protein, fiber, and minerals than rice. This makes millets a great tool to combat malnutrition, which is a major issue in India. Every other woman in the country suffers from anemia, caused by malnourishment. Also, in 2013, 48% of children under the age of 5 were stunted, which indicates that they were chronically malnourished. Millet cultivation suits rain-fed agriculture because they are drought-resistant and require few external inputs. They can be grown under harsh circumstances in arid and semi-arid environments, requiring less water than many other cereals, and are often able to cope with poor soils. The land of indigenous people is often degraded, and millets are perfect for these soils. The resilience of the farming systems is strengthened by intercropping millets with other plants, which helps reduce the impact of unforeseen events, such as droughts and irregular rainfall patterns. The great benefit of finger millet is that once it is harvested, the seeds keep well and are rarely attacked by insects or molds. The long storage capacity makes this millet an important crop in securing food supplies for exposed communities. Millets are also used as dual-purpose crops, food and fodder, so they make strong economic sense in mixed farming systems as they contribute to economic efficiency. Before the British colonization, the Adivasi communities of the Nilgiris commonly cultivated a variety of millets, wheat, and barley, using either shifting or settled cultivation. The British introduced cash crops such as tea and coffee, and these monocrop plantations changed the traditional use of cultivated land away from mixed cultivation systems of several crops. Today we see foremost tea being cultivated on a large scale. This causes ecological damage as chemical fertilizers and pesticides are being used. The clearing of forests that comes with the plantations reduces water retention capacity. Today, cash crop plantations dominate the vast majority of land available for cultivation in the Nilgiris, and only a small part is used for millet cultivation. Overall production of millets has decreased with 76% since the 1960s. For the Adivasi communities, who make up around 3% of the population in the Nilgiris, the shift in land use has led to lack of food sovereignty, wage labor exploitation, and the erosion of socio-cultural interactions between the communities. Within the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve lies the Banglapadigai area that is struggling with elephants coming closer to human habitation, malnutrition, and limited livelihood options. For the first season in a decade, there are farmers in the area who are cultivating millets again. In the area, the harvest season has started. Here, finger millet is being harvested. You can see a number of different crops growing together in the same field. They are harvested in intervals stretching over several months that make the harvest manageable for farmers to do it themselves without the need to hire much extra help. Millet cultivation is an addition to the family income and a way of diversifying livelihoods, complementing the collection of non-timber forest produce, wage work, coffee cultivation, and vegetable gardens. Changes in rainfall is a concern for cultivation. However, since millets are drought resistant, they are a better pick than many other crops. Also, growing several crops together in one field brings down the risk of lost yields caused by unpredictable rains. In this village, for example, there has been too little rain for foxtail millet this season, but enough for the rest of the crops. Cultivation of farmland within the villages has strengthened the community in claiming land rights. People have come together in order to demarcate land and formalize their land boundaries vis-à-vis the reserve forest and larger estate owners. So, millet cultivation goes beyond food and nutrition. It is a way toward increased self-determination, community strengthening, and food sovereignty for the marginalized communities of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. During the last decade, elephants have come closer to human habitation. The elephants raid crops and cause damage to the fields. This has been one of the reasons why cultivation has declined in the area. The elephants have also caused accidents involving people. Several villagers have lost their lives as a consequence of elephant attacks. You just saw a patch where an elephant ate the crops 3 months back. As you can see, compared to an untouched field, the damage is substantial. For the villagers, addressing the human-wildlife conflict is a necessity. Together with Keystone Foundation, they are working on a diverse set of approaches. At this meeting, the possibility of putting up an electric fence is discussed. The people of Bangla Patigaya have joint lookouts in this tree, for an instance, where they take turns watching the field at night. Also, the Keystone Area Manager, together with the communities, track elephant sightings in order to better understand how they move. This data is used here as the farmers discuss a possible electric fence with representatives from Keystone's livelihoods and conservation programs. Clearing fallow land in order to cultivate millets is another active approach to lower the intensity of human-wildlife conflict. Another challenge to millet cultivation is the idea that millets are an indicator of low social position. This points to a need in redeeming the reputation of millets, spreading knowledge, and claiming their status as grains with many benefits. Having witnessed the successful harvest, more farmers in the area are interested in taking up millets. At the moment, a survey of 28 villages is being carried out to know how many households are willing to cultivate millets and take part in Keystone's seed distribution program for next season. People have seen how the millets have survived despite elephant intrusions and unpredictable rains and gained more confidence. It's worth the effort. As agriculture is taking up in the area, Keystone has supported the creation of farmers groups along with promoting organic methods. Community organizing is imperative as these groups are minorities that suffer from socio-political exclusion. Despite the great strides made in spreading irrigation, at the moment 65% of Indian agriculture remains rain-fed. Given the context where millets are being predominantly grown in rain-fed conditions, and based on the findings that agricultural growth has the greatest poverty reduction potential compared to any other sector, millets are a grain for the future. There is a considerable body of evidence showing linkages between millets, poverty reduction, malnutrition alleviation, and rural development. Many studies indicate that rain-fed agriculture development in India will be the linchpin for inclusive growth and to battle poverty in the nation. Millets contribute to improved agrobiodiversity because of their rich varieties and by allowing for mutually beneficial intercropping with other vital crops. In addition, the crop also reduces carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Paddy, on the contrary, is one of the major contributors to climate change through methane emissions.